Project Veritas just had a great video come out. They caught more Twitter people who thought they were on dates.
Yeah.
Which is like a classic now. It's just becoming like, if you're a Twitter nerd and you work in like the algorithm department and you're out with some like smoking hot chick,
some rocket,
and she's like, so like, what's up at work? Like, how do you guys treat the conservatives? And it's like, yeah, we censor the conservatives all the time. Like, you completely just blow it.
Yeah.
What did you think? Like, oh man, I'm assuming everything I'm saying is going to be recorded, or I don't know.
If this was like World War II, we'd have ships going down. We'd have planes going down. There's no operational security from any of these people. Like, it's a major liability.
Yeah. So I don't know how they did not see that coming.
And then this guy, one of the guys was making fun of Elon Musk for having Asperger's on camera and saying like, oh, we don't care about him, dismissed him. And it's like, if this was the real world, you'd be fired,
Yeah.
So these people don't even really face consequences. They're just like, imagine showing up to your desk on the day after the Project Veritas video released.
Everyone's looking over.
Hey guys, and you're just smoked.
And these are the people that are always the champions of like equality, treating people well, not being anti anything, or not making fun of people for their disabilities. And it's like, you get the gay guy, a couple margaritas in him. He thinks he's on a date. And he's
one
like,
margarita.
Yeah, Asperger's, whatever. Like, he's completely going off, giving away all the secrets. Yeah. I love to see it. And James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, obviously does a great job. We're friends of the show, friends of theirs.
Yeah.
So we're always happy to see them do great stuff. And then with the Elon stuff with Twitter, we're learning a lot about how Twitter operates, the bots especially.
Yeah.
So Elon was supposed to buy Twitter for like $44 billion under the assumption, according to Twitter, that less than 5% of the users were bots. But turns out, after some audits, it looks like a lot of the users are bots, which would be, I think, fraud, right? Isn't that fraud if you're trying to sell a company saying 5% are bots and it's like 40% are bots? That's fraudulent.
Yeah,
right?
it's fraud or willful ignorance or something. I don't really know.
It's something sketchy, and I'm sure they knew the real bot number. Joe Biden.
That's what I'm saying. You have to be able to know your own company's bot number. They have all these tools to censor you and delete you and misinformation you, but they can't tell you who's a computer. Isn't that just a captcha?
Yeah. So the bot numbers are very high. Joe Biden, who has 34 million Twitter followers, which isn't even impressive. An audit came out saying that half of his followers are bots. So the guy who got 81 million votes, 10 million more votes than Obama, has like a Soldier Boy amount of Twitter followers.
A little base god. Will be the base god. No, and he only has like 22 million. Trump had like 85 million, I believe. And there's bots that follow Trump too. And Trump Jr. even said this, that like he posts a tweet and immediately there's 15 replies, faster than anyone can read the tweet and formulate their own tweet. So it's like, people know that there are bots.
Yeah. And people use bots to like manufacture consensus and stuff. Like the left will tweet things out and then get tons of retweets sometimes, or not even tons, an acceptable amount of retweets. So if Hillary Clinton tweets something and it gets 1,000 retweets, which isn't even that much, then it's like, 1,000 retweets, like, that her side agrees. That's what her side thinks. And you probably get rid of the bots. You probably have 250 retweets, which is like how much I get. Yeah. So it's like these people are trying to pretend I don't want to get too much into conspiracy land, but it's like you're trying to pretend that you should be there. Joe Biden, he's got 33 million followers, trying to pretend that he's the real president and that people actually like him and actually people voted for him. Yeah. So it all plays into like how they scam and how they try to sell and manufacture a consensus, and they pretend everyone's on the same page and everyone agrees, all these retweets, when in reality it's just like bot farms used to push an agenda and pretend to be a passing idea.
Absolutely. Manufactured consensus, as they say.
Yeah.
Can we go back to Project Veritas for a second?
Of course.
Because I have to laugh about that. The guy said at one point, like, he's feigning
the worker
ignorance. Yeah.
Or the Twitter workers talking to the gay guys, the gay Twitter workers talking to the guy.
To the Veritas undercover.
And then what happens? The Twitter worker says...
Let me play it so we can get a good narration.
Now, like, what?
Unfortunately, it would be like you recording me right now and giving it to, like, the New York Times. And, like, here, I just had dinner with the Twitter representative. Here's what he had to say. I just had a whole thing look at it. You see where it's from?
Corporate security.
targeting of tweets.
Wait.
You can read it.
Let me see. And how to protect yourself. Groups like Project Veritas are active right now. Is that?
It's like some group that's trying to just out the employees.
That's sick.
So this guy got off right there.
Yeah.
We just witnessed someone. What's Project Veritas? He's a Project Veritas employees, and it's like Veritas. It's like you should know Veritas. Like that's like
I love that.
That's on money. That's on like any old Latin.
The Project Veritas guy saying Project Veritas as if he doesn't know.
Turns to his own camera and goes like, "Yeah."
That is as good as it gets in my mind for
Yep.
like getting mental squirts.
Mhm.
That gives you squirts.
Yeah. So that guy got played, and he goes. He also said, "Oh, thank God we met organically." So it's like I really want to know how they met.
That's
now.
so good. Project Veritas is great. They do stings any way they can. They'll have Tinder people on Tinder with fake profiles. They'll run into you at the coffee shop knowing exactly who you are. I really like how they operate. And also with Twitter and what this will bring, hopefully, everyone assumes like, oh, Elon Musk is going to come to Twitter and it's going to become like this racist, horrible place where everyone's saying like slurs and the N-word or whatever. But it's like, I think once we get rid of the bots and then it's like a know your customer thing. If everyone's attached to a profile and it's a real person, I think the number of like N-words and racist things are going to go down because everyone's a real person on a profile.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm tentative to even accept that. Like, I don't want to tie myself to my thing. And you know what I mean? That's where it goes into right-wing conspiracy land.
oh yeah, like data collection
Yeah.
and then the mental chip, the brain chip.
Exactly. The sooner, next thing you know, you're chipped, you're a cattle.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it plays out. There's a lot of options.
I want to go off script a little bit here. We won't name names, but we know a girl who went on Project Veritas dates
Oh yeah.
and didn't get anything.
Yeah.
So just went on like 3 shitty dates with kind of nerdy guys and didn't get anything. So there's a flip side to this. You get the honey hole, the guy going like Project Veritas and just dunking on this guy. And then there's the forgotten dates and
Maybe that's what happens to you. You go on all these dates with people, they're just one and done. You don't give up any info about Fleckus Talks and the work environment here, and then you just never hang out with those girls again.
yeah,
Because all those girls, they just hang out with you once, and I guess you don't spill the beans.
all those girls.
All those girls.
Thanks, man. And so Project Veritas, the other part of this is like, we obviously know the employees are left leaning. They had that graph, like 99% of Twitter employees, or 98 maybe, donated to left wing candidates of their political donations. And so we know that they're commie left wing types. And this guy, Indian guy saying it is just like funny. It's like, it's on the record now, we're putting it out there. People like us, we already know this. And so it's just funny to watch the mispronunciations, the little, social engineering that takes place to get these people.
The social engineering is what it is.
It's social engineering is a lot more complicated than swiping right on Tinder and giving this guy a couple margaritas, like you said.
I love it. I love that whole operation.
This guy's turning his phone with Twitter emails and being like, "You can read it." Go ahead.
It's like, yeah, it's like you recording me right now.
Yeah.
The guy's probably like, ding, 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 ding. Like, I'm getting off.
He's sweating a little bit.
Woo!
Yeah. Woo! What a rush. I got the footage. And then this guy, the gay guy who was being recorded, it's like, oh man, a first date in 3 years. Like, let's see what happens. And it's like, you don't know red flags are ticking.
Absolutely smoked. You're fired, right? You're done.
I don't know. I think they're going to stand by him, but that's a humiliating return to work.
Humiliating return to work. You got to come to work like with sunglasses on and like kind of drunk.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, I had a bad weekend. I don't want to talk to anyone about it. Taking us out of Project Veritas section. Great section.